Hi, dearios. Welcome back, my lovelies. My next guest has an amazing story. He's a rock climber. You know the story, I think. He was a rock climber who got pinned by a boulder when he was out there on a hike, and was there for five days, I think, and eventually ended up cutting his arm off with a penknife to get away and save his life. He wrote a book about this, Between a Rock and a Hard Place. Please welcome the remarkable Aron Ralston, everybody. I didn't know what to do with a hand. I thought...
Well, sometimes you go in like this, and I get you real good.
Yeah, and that's...
I do that. Yeah, or like Henry did.
Oh, careful. I had a buddy growing up, a guy called Ian that grew up with Scotland, who had one arm. He was born that way, and he had a hook put on it.
Yeah.
And then other times he had this attachment. He played the guitar.
Did he have an eye patch too? Or
no. It wasn't remotely piratical. But he had an attachment, and he put a guitar pick in, and he learned to play the guitar with it.
Yeah, I've got one of those as well. I've got about 10 different hands that they all can interchange with, just pops out, and there's a little, I know, it's, if I ever got trapped by another...
No, I think it's kind of interesting.
It comes in handy if I were ever to get trapped by another boulder, that I just push the button and then...
Are you still climbing? Have you broken it?
I broke it.
You broke your damn hand? Oh, God.
Yeah, I do still climb. I've got a couple more devices that I use, some of them that I developed with other rock climbers, ice climbers, so that it helps me...
Do you put a crampon-y thing in it, or a...
Yeah, there's one of them's an ice tool. Actually, it's there's a picture of it on the...
Yeah, on the front of the book. There. Look at that.
So that's an ice tool component that helps me with mountaineering. I've got ones just for skiing, for mountain biking, one of them for surfing, so I can go and paddle out through the waves. And
so do you feel it slowed you down at all, or not?
No, I think
sounds like it.
No, it's actually given me a lot of opportunity, and not just for me personally, but also to get out and going around traveling and seeing how this story has inspired people in their lives. I get to hear a lot of great stories.
It's a remarkable thing, I mean, because your demeanor is very confident, and you seem, I mean, talking to you backstage and talking to you now, you seem very kind of matter of fact. I'm sure that doesn't happen overnight. The adjustment must be kind of tricky, is it?
There are a lot of things that I had to adjust to after I got through the physical recovery and the time when I struggled, I think, almost more during the month after the accident than I even did while I was trapped in the canyon.
I'm interested in that. Why would that month be the most difficult?
I became suicidally depressed during that time because I had fought so hard to get back to the life that I loved, and yet I couldn't have it. I was an invalid.
Right.
At least while I was in the canyon, I could do things for myself. I could still take action. Once I was out after 5 surgeries, and I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and you take a perfectly healthy person and put them in a hospital for 3 weeks, lay out flat on their back.
With you, like you, yeah.
They'll be sicker than they've ever been in their life by the time that they can get up again. And
but when you went through that, when you're actually going through I mean, the story's been, we've gone through a lot in the media about, you actually having to go through the motions of cutting your own arm off. I mean, it was after 5 days of being stuck there, was that right? You hadn't eaten for 5 days? You hadn't anything to drink?
Very, very little resources. I'd gone out on a day hike through a slot canyon, which is a very narrow, kind of like a crevasse in the desert. And it was 15 miles long that I was planning on hiking that day, but for the shape that I was in, that would take me about 8 hours to get through.
Right.
And so I had the amount of water that you would need to be out for one day. You need to have nearly a gallon per day, and so I ran out very quickly.
After 5 days, you're dehydrated. Yeah. You think you're going to die.
Well,
and the idea is that you're going to. Did you think I'm going to bleed to death anyway when I do that?
It was something I considered from the very first moment that I was trapped, that I was going to have to amputate my arm to get myself free. But one of the things that held me there was the fact that the knife was much too dull to get through the bones in my arm. And so that was really what trapped me there. And then the second thing was that even if I could get myself free, I still had 7 miles to hike, try to climb out and get to my truck that was 2 hours from pavement.
So tell me this, because I think... it's a remarkable story. It's an odd story. I mean, people are very curious about it. I find myself kind of fascinated by it. There's a part of the story which I've heard touched on before when you talk about the bird that was circling. There was a raven
Exactly. There was a raven that flew overhead in the canyon each morning that was, it would announce itself by the presence right at 8:15. It was very precise, and you would hear this as the bird's wings would flap, and I would look up, and there it would go, and it reminded me that I wasn't alone, that there was some other living creature besides me being trapped there, and that it helped me know that if I could get through the night, I would see that raven again. Except then the 6th morning that I was there, it didn't show up. It didn't fly overhead.
This is the day you think you're going to die,
and that was when I knew it was all over. I was not going to get out of there. And then this voice I heard, and it was a divine interaction. I'm very sure of that because the timing of all of this. But that at 10:30 in the morning that morning, I heard this voice shout out that I could use the leverage of the boulder to break the bones in my arm. And that came to me, and I'm already smiling. I mean, that to me was the greatest idea I'd ever heard.
So where did the raven go then? What happened?
Well, once I was able to get myself free, the euphoria that came with that, I worked my way down, had to rappel 65 feet over a cliff, began hiking out.
I can do that, you know.
It took a lot of focus.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But there was water at the bottom of that pool, and after I'd been drinking my urine for 3 days.
Hello.
And I say that it's one thing to do that. It's a lot better than having to drink somebody else's urine.
Yes. Yes.
I was saved by, in the same way that I would hear that raven announce its presence, that I heard this noise, and I look up, and now instead of it being a raven, I see another kind of a black bird, and it was a helicopter.
So you saw a chopper?
And that was there because of a search and rescue operation that my mom had helped get underway.
So did you ever find out what happened to the raven?
As I'm in the hospital, 3 days later, one of my friends is visiting me, and he'd gone into the canyon from the lower end in order to recover some of the things like my harness and some of the stuff that I'd left behind. And he asked me that if I drank from that pool of water at the bottom of the rappel. And I was like, yeah, it tasted like sweet tea to me. And he said it looked like bayou water, and he asked me if I'd seen the dead raven floating in it.
The raven was dead in the pool?
And I'm pretty sure it was the same one, and I think that there was perhaps even an exchange, that I got out, I got my life back, and that raven died, and maybe even that it transformed in some way into that helicopter.
There are more things in heaven and earth, my friend. Who knows? It's a remarkable story. Thank you for coming in. Aron Ralston, everybody. We'll be right back with Julie Gribble.